memorize, but I don't. Okay. I will call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Education, which was duly noticed on February 11th through posting and notification of the press in accordance with Wisconsin 19.84. Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner Allard.
Thank you, President. Mr. Perenboom has been with the Janesville School District for almost 22 years. Prior to being Washington's principal, he served as an Administrator of the Year Award from the Janesville School District. Matt has a teaching degree from Edgewood College and a master's degree in administration from Cardinal Stretch. Who do you have with you this evening?
Good evening, and thank you, Commissioner Menard. It is my pleasure to introduce Camden Demrow. Camden is a fourth grade student at Washington in Miss Werner's classroom. Camden is a hardworking, responsible, friendly student who strives to do his very best each and every day. His teacher, Miss Werner, describes him as cooperative, expressive, and inquisitive. She states that Camden's questions and contributions in class increase the interest levels for other students and increase the level of learning that takes place throughout the entire classroom. He is a great student, a leader, and positive role model. In addition, I know Camden is a fantastic athlete. His favorite sport is football, and I know he enjoys basketball and baseball as well.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Okay, could I have a motion to adopt the board agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it was Commissioner Ardrey and Commissioner Herda. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you. It's unanimous. Safety message, Commissioner Domerhausen.
This is kind of the same message I gave over a year ago. But as I drive around town and things, I have to, both for a personal safety reason, be careful, but as you drive, what we see is a lack of courtesy on the road. The other day in the park, I walk across the crosswalk at Woodman's the other day, and I had to stop and wait for a car that could. There's no manners out there. I'm amazed at how many cars are ordered without turn signals as they go along and that. Because people don't know how, and they don't remember they put their arm out the window if they don't have turn signals and that. I remember doing that well for many years. The number of safety belts that aren't connected and that. And I think many of our movies today set a bad example of that. How many really see safety belts, people putting them on? Almost nil for the back seat, and yet they're there. You can see them, but they aren't there. So we don't set good examples anywhere. But I think we're gonna have to start thinking about it much more, because I see people going to get hurt. And hopefully I'm not one of those people, not necessarily getting hurt, but doing these insufficient things with our people out there with it. We need to vehicles, tools they give us to help keep safer. So thank you.
Thank you very
Hello, members of the school board. My name is Grace Marotta, a junior at Craig High School, as well as the stand-in for the school board representative today. I'm involved in student council, Key Club, Science Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, and Link Crew. To begin, second semester started as of January 19th. All students have reported to their new schedules. On January 11th, Craig hosted our annual Martin Luther King Commemoration Assembly. Craig students hosted this assembly and put on an inspiring performance. Today we had our second Spirit Day to celebrate Black History Month. Students were asked to wear a hat that represents them. On February 9th, Student Council hosted their annual blood drive in partnership with the American Red Cross Blood Service. There was an amazing turnout from this drive. 34 first-time donors. The blood drive means more life, more love, more memories for the most our sophomore student council members, executive board members, Mrs. Hanson, and the Red Cross volunteers for hosting this event. Student Council also hosted the first annual Sadie Hawkins Winter Formal on January 21st. All Student Council members did a great job decorating and hosting the event. I'd like to thank the National Honor Society for the donations. Student Council was able to raise money for their club from this event. We hope to continue this tradition for years to come. Both DECA and FBLA competitions were completed in the past month. Both of these clubs are sending multiple competitors to state. State DECA is February 27th through March 1st, and State FBLA is April 16th through the 18th. We wish the qualified students the best of luck. To celebrate Valentine's Student Council was selling Love Pops, and National Art Honor Society was selling Love Bugs. Each day. As of last week, National Honor Society has wrapped up their donation drive. The officers took over NHS will continue to work with gifts throughout the end of the school year. This semester, Craig is bringing back our ASL Communications Club. Students interested have the opportunity to learn American Sign Language. Winter sports are wrapping up this month. In boys hockey, Jake Schaffner and Tyler Stuke each scored their 100th career goal. They're the first Bluebirds in history to have 100 goals in their career. Tyler Stuke also won Athlete of the Week for January 2nd through the 8th. The Bluebirds are seeded third for the state tournament. Girls basketball has had an amazing season. They have a record of 17 wins and 6 losses. They play next on the 16th against Madison East. Boys basketball has a record of 11 wins, 7 losses, and plays tonight against
Thank you, Grace. Would you stay there for just a second? And Addison Riley Lean from Parker, come on up. Okay, thank you both for sharing your Valentine's Day with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for
so
coming,
much.
for everything and for all you do for your schools.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well done. Happy Valentine's Day. Okay. Come on up.
Okay.
Come on up, Addison Riley Lean. Come on up. She does.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. Yeah. So, first of all, happy Valentine's Day to every school board meeting tonight. But in all honesty, I'm very happy to be here again. So, as you guys know, I'm Addison. Very busy place the past few weeks. The second semester began on January 23rd, so students are adjusting to new classes and new students watch videos showcasing course options, reviewed the ACP course selection guide online, and talked to teachers about course recommendations. Counselors worked with students to help verify course selections and enter them into Infinite Campus. Janesville Public Schools are once again well represented with a multiple award winners through the NCWIT Awards, which is the National Center for Women in Information Technology. This organization helps recruit, retain, and advance women from K through 12 in higher education through industry and entrepreneurial careers by providing them community, evidence, and action. Parker's state award winners are Eleanor Frank, Esther Haynes, Ava Schroeder, and Charlotte Simmons, with Olivia Larson as a state runner-up, and also congratulations to the Craig State winner, Katarina Dries. These young ladies in IT, leadership, and aspirations. An opportunity to meet other young students of their age with similar and a receipt of a medal and an individualized certificate for all categories. And finally, they will also receive prizes from local businesses and organizations that value the students' accomplishments. Next, members of the Robotics Club are competing with the are completing the mechanical assembly and the programming for their first robotics competition robot. This year's theme is Charged Up by Haas Machine Company. Their first event will be the Lake Superior Regional in Duluth, Minnesota on March 1st, where 120 teams from around the world will match up. Then on March 30th, they compete at the Seven Rivers Regional, a 60 robot competition. Also, special thanks to the Prent Corporation, who has graciously paid for all bus transportation to and from the Duluth event. So thank you to Prent for that. The Chinese Club has been doing activities to celebrate the Chinese New Year. The students made dumplings, wrote good luck signs, and posted them on doors around the Chinese Club has also done volunteer work in the Hedberg Public Library and introduced traditional Chinese culture. Speakers come talk about Japan, Cambodian, Thailand, and Viet. And so these speakers allowed club members the opportunity to learn about the different Asian cultures. Next, the Spanish National Honor Society made more than 100 bilingual Valentine's Day cards that were sent to St. Elizabeth's Nursing Home and the Veterans Home of Wisconsin in Union Grove. On February 10th, Parker DECA participated in the Rock County Finance and Investment Challenge Bowl at Blackhawk Technical College. 3 Parker DECA teams participated in the event, along with other schools in Rock County, to improve their financial literacy and investment knowledge. Our DECA chapter members had a great time at this event and are really looking forward to attending it again in the future. On February 12th, Parker DECA hosted their first annual Cupid Cuties event here at Parker. If you guys have any elementary school age children, you guys might have been at this event. The purpose of the event was to build community togetherness, have fun playing games with Parker DECA and a last-minute coloring sheet table, which was my idea, and it was actually a lot of fun. I printed out Cookie Monster pictures. Oh my gosh, it was so fun. The Parker Arts Academy will present the SpongeBob musical March 3rd through 5th and 10th through 12th. Don't miss this brilliant, bright, and hilarious musical with songs by popular artists including John Legend, Sarah Bareilles, Cyndi Lauper, and David Bowie, and many more. Tickets are available at www.parkerarts.com, Napton Music Notes, Voight Music, and at the door. And the first night, they're only $5, just so you guys know. Next, the Parker Athletic Department has had so much great information to share with you. As you know, February is Black History Month. In addition to our school's activities this month, our athletic program recognizes, celebrates, and thanks the many athletes, coaches, and officials for their leadership, contributions, and dedication to high school athletics across our school district, and the entire WIAA division. This past weekend, we held the 6th annual Booster Club Trivia Night fundraiser. On behalf of the Parker Athletics Booster Club, we would like to thank the time and talent to help support our athletic programs. Over the past few months, several Parker High School coaches have participated in programs here in Janesville. As the end of the month approaches, several will take an opportunity to lead or join in various book studies. Next, earlier this month, we announced Parker teacher Nolan Stearns as our new head boys golf coach. Coach Stearns will be taking over for Coach Van Gelder this spring and is extremely excited for the opportunity to lead our young golfers. On behalf of the Parker community, we want to thank Coach Sam Van Gelder for his years of leadership and welcome Coach Stearns to our coaching team. So, with the warmer temps last weekend, we had the opportunity to get outside and couldn't help but to start thinking of the upcoming spring athletic season. However, we still have a month left of our winter season and several Parker student athletes are doing amazing things. Our girls basketball team is coming off to a 2-game winning streak and is gearing up for the WIAA playoffs, starting off at Oak Creek on Friday, February 24th. Our boys basketball team is coming off of last weekend's huge win over the number 6 ranked team in the state, Madison La Follette. Our first-year assistant coach, Maddie Franklin. Our boys swim team season has come to an end. They competed last week at the Racine sectional and came best. Our cheer team has finished their winter season with much success throughout the 2022 to 2023 school year. In addition to basketball performances and student section engagement, our cheer team competed in several competitions this winter. The Rock County Fury girls hockey team has earned the number 3 seed in the WIAA state tournament and will host Stoughton this Thursday in Beloit. Come out and support our girls. First-year head coach Nick English has our Janesville Bluebirds team firing on all cylinders as we approach the WIAA state playoffs. Our team has earned the number 3 seed and will host either Muskego or Monroe at the Janesville Ice Arena on Thursday night. Our Poms and dance teams season has come to an end with several excellent halftime performances throughout our fall and winter seasons. Thank you to the entire team for all their work and dedication this year. Next, Parker gymnastics team continues to post new team and personal bests and will have the opportunity to compete at the Big 8 conference meet at Madison Memorial this Saturday. The following week, our varsity athletes will compete in Mukwonago. After posting a second-place finish in the Big 8, including 3 conference champions, our wrestlers have moved on to regional and sectional competition. Regional champions, Caden Brandenburg, Cody Slater, and Carter Wesley, who have qualified for the WIAA sectional meet. Mason Rooney, Eli Thurman, Nate Peters, Victoria Anna Campman, Haley Zimmerman, and Addison Fredericks, who also qualified for the WIAA sectional meet. Best of luck to all 9 wrestlers who will be representing Parker High School at the WIAA sectional meet next Saturday in Burlington. On behalf of Parker Athletics, as always, we want to thank our school district, our school board, and the entire Janesville community for your continued support. Lastly, I want to say thank you all sincerely for the opportunity to present to you today, and I look forward to seeing you all again next month. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you both. Okay, we have no citizen comments tonight, so could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented? Oh, I got that in stereo. Okay. So, how about Commissioner Ardrey and then Commissioner Domerhausen? All in favor signify by saying aye. Happy Valentine's Day.
It's great to be here. I'm sure my wife Kim is enjoying the Bucks game in my absence. So, thank you very much for the opportunity just to really recap information that was presented to the Finance Committee back on January 23rd, Finance Buildings and Grounds Committee on January 23rd. It was really a successful report presented by Wendy Unger, who is a partner with Baker Tilly, our financial auditor. So as noted in the memo to the board, it is really a unqualified audit, which seems counterintuitive, but that's a really good audit, and there were really no significant issues within the audit report. So that's great news for us as a district. And then I think one point of interest, and this came up last year during the same presentation, that we prepared our own financial statements this year. So Matt Sylvester Knudsen, who is the CPA in the Business Services Department, prepared those financial statements. We purchased the software. And as indicated in the memo, we invested about 80 hours of Matt's time and others into preparing those financial statements. Now, there is no discount when a district prepares their financial statements. It's just really the fact that there's no note in the audit report or a deficiency saying that the district did not prepare their financial statements. So really big shout out. There are a number of people who bring the audit together, if you will, and as referenced again in the memo, it's really a year-round process, right? So we're always thinking about the audit. We're always following Department of Public Instruction, school financial services guidelines, general accepted accounting principles, so on and so forth. But it's really a team effort, right? Simply because when you look at the number of different funding sources. So we do rely upon our partners, if you will, in L&I, Learning and Innovation, related to title funding, which is a federal funding source, the same with special education and IDEA, enrollment, human resources, payroll, and of course the business services. So it's truly a team effort. We'll start it all again formally, even though, again, we do think of the audit throughout the year in about 3 months. And again, we go through the summer, through the fall, and as the memo again indicated, it was December 15th, pretty much of every year, that we submit the financial report to the Department of Public Instruction. It also goes to a clearinghouse, right? So there are a number of people who are always interested in our audit, whether it's federal agencies, whether it's the private sector, and then we always we always submit the audit because we have debt service, right? So bondholders are very curious as to the status of our financial position as a district. So not only to ensure the integrity of their return, but for future bond purchases or people who want to buy our bonds in the future should that opportunity arise.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Yeah, Lisa.
This might be a repeat question, and I apologize.
It's all good.
But in the final audit report, there was a mention that the district has stock ownership and that there was a recommendation to sell that.
Yep.
May I ask what the next steps are in regards to that, or what the future plans are in regards to that recommendation?
Yeah, so great question. I think this is going into my 4th year here, and pretty much for the last 3, we've been trying to sell that, right? So we don't possess the shares, right? So we have an electronic certificate, right? And that electronic certificate needs to be endorsed by essentially the company that issues those, right? So that's been the hang up. It's just been extremely tedious, which is one reason as a district we should never accept shares, right? So that was an acceptance prior to my arrival. For those who maybe have a nonprofit or fundraising background, right? Shares are great. Please cash them out if you desire and turn them into the district in cash. So it's not for the lack of effort. It's just been a bit of a pistol, for lack of a more formal word.
Thank you.
Sure.
Did you have a question?
Actually, I had a comment. I was going to mention the stock. And I would say the other piece is this is the first audit we've had where there are no notes at all. There are no deficiencies at all. The first audit. This is a big deal. I know it's ho-hum, it's an audit, but it's the first one that is completely no notes. So that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. And again, it's a team approach. So
Thank you. Anybody else? Thank you. I noticed that too. I put it in my notes, no material weaknesses, they call
no
it.
material weaknesses, right? So we like that.
Yeah, that's
Very
amazing.
much so.
That's good. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So next on the agenda is me. My report from the WASBA convention. I was a delegate. I believe you should have seen the resolutions that we passed, and also includes a list of one that we did not pass. It was I was a delegate, like I said. And it was really quite the experience this time. This kind of stuff is what I do for fun, and so I really enjoyed. I love that stuff. I enjoy being a part of that process. But there was a lot of debate, a lot of amendments this time. 15 resolutions passed or were debated. 14 of them passed. And some of the resolutions were significant statements on education and safety. Some acknowledged the difficulties of other districts. There was a fair amount of focus, I thought, this time on the issues facing small districts, like the transportation resolution, as an example, the very first one. And then some, of course, were amendments of previous resolutions that were outdated or needed language adjusted, and that kind of thing. We didn't finish. So we got through 15 resolutions, and I think there were somewhere in the area of 30, if I remember right. And so I guess what happens, what I guess happens is that the rest of it goes on. I'm not sure about the actual number. It doesn't matter. The rest of it goes on the slate next year. And so we will pick up where we left off, and then continue to debate the amendments that come up, or the resolutions that come up next year. Does anybody have any questions for me about any of them? Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Finance, buildings, and grounds. Greg?
Dan took care of our major work with the audit. The one other item of note is, as we look at our referendum work, the combination of Cullen and EUA, outstanding job of managing the funds, such that we have opportunities to do additional work that falls within the overall scope of the referendum. And I would say mainly it's in our minutes, but some complete fire alarm system replacements, which is really a huge thing as we look at overall safety. That is one big thing. And then probably the one that is probably not as noted as high, but a district-wide HVAC building automation system, where we would, Dave Leader and team would be able to have access across the whole district in one platform. So that would be really a huge benefit going forward. There are other items, but to a lesser extent. Any questions? Hopefully soon we can say we're completely done with the referendum work other than these additional, but supply chain. Wonderful, thanks.
Don't get me started on the supply chain. Okay, PPC, Commissioner Paul.
Thank you. So we met PPC on February 6th. there were a number of items on our agenda. The first item was a staffing update. We will expect to see final staffing update in March to the board. One thing to consider is that when all of the staffing is being put together, particularly at the upper grade levels, that is really based on course selection, and students finish that in end of January. I forget exactly the number. I'm sure somebody in the crowd could tell me, but so they're putting those together based on that course selection. Also, at the lower grades, that enrollment is based on obviously student enrollment, but then also our TPR, or our teacher pupil ratio, and so all of that is being worked on. One thing that was brought to note is that we will be losing ESSER funds, I believe, of $900,000, if we recall that number, and that has supported 10 full-time teachers in our district. But I'm not saying that those teachers are going away. What we just had that support. The funding is going away that we had, so that's something that we will be having to be mindful of course. Benefits update we had. We will be seeing in mid-March the final numbers coming in, with some voting on contracts to be expected in April. We did receive, we know the renewal for insurance, rate increases. Mercy is locked in. We're still waiting on Dean for that, and we will be seeing that coming soon. There was an update on the Family Advantage Plan, and there were 12 additional members in January that moved over to that plan. So that was kind of nice to see that that's continuing to move forward as we were hoping. Next, we discussed the Wonders curriculum update, and it was important for us to remember that the last time our district adopted ELL new curriculum for the elementary level was in 2012, and so it's been a while. There is going to be a change and more regular adoption cycle, so that we are not going so long without looking at those resources, which is wonderful. The old resource that we were using was not aligned to state standards, and the new adoption of Wonders is aligned and was chosen because of lots of best practices that curriculum demonstrates. There were teachers that were included as stakeholders in the process, that adoption process, which was really important, and so we just got to see all of that wonderful stuff. And then for middle school, we learned that there is a change in the way that middle school schedule will function starting next year, and they will be moving from 8 classes per day to 6, with an alignment of language arts and reading, and just some other changes. And there will be a flex period in the middle level, which will allow for some more support for our students and connection opportunities throughout the year, which is great. And that I learned that has been a multi-year process to get that new schedule up and running. So lots of great things happening. You're always invited to attend PPC. I don't recall our next meeting. Actually, I should know, March 6th. We just talked about this, so I think that's it. Sorry, I know you were probably judging me over there with my lengthy overview, Commissioner Ardrey. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, board requests. I have one, and that's going to be sent to PPC. And I don't think I have any others. So future meetings and dates. So we just heard that February 6th for PPC. Whoops. Wow. March 6th for PPC. And Ms. Jensen, can you help me with the rest, please?
Sure. The Finance Buildings and Grounds Committee will meet on Monday, February 20th at 4:30 p.m. here at the Educational Services Center. Our next Board of Education meeting will be on Tuesday, February 28th at 6 p.m. also here at the Educational Services Center. And as was stated, the PPC committee will meet on Monday, March 6th at 4:30 p.m. also here at the Educational Services Center.
Okay. Well, thank you all for your work today. We have reached the end of our agenda. We are adjourned. Thank you.